Joining us now is Chad McCumbee, a rising star racer from right here in Brunswick County. Welcome to the show, Chad.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. I know we've been trying to pin you down for a while to get you on the show, so we're glad to have you. And it's especially exciting since you're from here in Brunswick County, kind of putting us on the map, which we appreciate.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get into racing?
It was right here in Brunswick County when the Slope Point Speedway opened up in Slope Point. There is a little dirt oval for go-kart racing, and my dad was a racer, and when that opened up, we kind of got back into it, and he raced for a couple years, and then he seen that I had the interest, so we got a cart, went to Slope Point, and I was 10 years old at that time, and it's just kind of snowballed ever since then, you know.
Yeah, that's great. So it's always kind of been an interest of yours since you were young. What was the first race you ever raced? So you were 10, you said?
Yeah, 10 years old, and it was at Slope Point. I don't remember a whole lot about that first race. I know my second race I remember more because I was able to qualify first and do really good, but I don't remember much about that first weekend. I know I was probably really nervous, and I know when my dad would go to the racetrack and race himself, I was always watching, you know, my little class of the kids, you know, and trying to, okay, this is what I got to do here, and this is what I got to do here. But no, it's, you know, heck, I even went to a go-kart race, you know, this past New Year's just to kind of rekindle that old memory when it was so fun. But you know, it's been a long path since then, but it's been a great ride.
Wonderful. Now, when did you get into the big cars?
I think probably, really 2005 was my first full-time year. Like, I guess I could say I went and did it professionally.
Okay.
I ran a race in '04. I moved to, when I graduated West Brunswick in 2002, I went to UNC Charlotte, and I was stuck between a decision, well, do I go to NC State or to UNCC? And with the racing world, I had to go to Charlotte because that's where you've got to be. And went and did the mechanical engineering thing there, and I was able to go to a driving school, the Fast Track Driving School, which Andy Hillenberg owns. He also owns an ARCA race series team. And through the course of that, you know, I did the story deal where you hear the guys that go and mow the grass and clean the bathrooms and wash the cars. I literally did all that, and it worked. And Andy gave me a chance in 2005 full time.
That's fabulous. That's like the best story ever.
Right.
So, so you said you're in Charlotte now, is that right? And that is the place to be. I mean, you guys have that giant speedway there, and you said, you know, you can open the door to your house, back door to your house. You can hear the cars going by and everything.
Absolutely.
Now, I mean, you've been in the paper, the Brunswick County paper here, quite a bit, I have to say. And I guess you've won some races. Tell me about some of the ones that you've won.
Yeah, you know, the Brunswick Beacon does a great job. Michael Paul and them guys over there in the sports department, they really help us keep the local news going, and they do a great job. But yeah, I was able to win a race this past season, 2011. I ran the ARC Racing Series again full time this past year for Andy Belmont Racing and Mod Space Motorsports, and we were able to win a dirt track, which, you know, the stock cars that I run now are in the ARCA Series is just like the NASCAR cars, but the ARCA Series, they do a bunch of really different things with them. So we actually race on dirt with those big, heavy, high horsepower stock cars.
Wow.
So it necessarily, I mean, even though I raced go-karts on dirt, cars on dirt are way different. And so I really didn't expect to do that well, and we ended up winning that race. We ended up running really good at a road course race this past year in ARCA, and I never did a road course before, and that's kind of led into some more stuff. So it was a great season.
Yeah. What does your training look like for doing all that kind of stuff?
You know, there's a lot, as over the last probably 2 or 3 years, things have really changed where, you know, the drivers really need to be involved with their sponsors and with their marketing partners, because we've got to do so much more to make sure that we're doing the best we can do for our partners and doing everything we can do on and off the racetrack to make sure they're getting their value. So I would typically say, you know, I'm just hitting the gym up every day and, you know, going to the shop, hanging out, go to lunch with the guys, you know, talk with your superiors with the technical side of stuff and the business side of stuff. But, you know, I'm spending, you know, just as much time, you know, on the phone and just working with marketing agencies to figure out, okay, what can we do to help promote the product or service that we're working with. So that's what a typical week looks like.
So you're pretty busy.
Yeah, really, I am, and we pick around and joke around that sometimes it doesn't feel like a real job, but it's the amount of travel involved. You normally we'll leave on a Wednesday or Thursday for the race. We get back on a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, depending on the length of the weekend. And then you've got 3 or 4 days during a regular week. Now, you don't race every weekend, but the daily stuff of really just trying to hammer out and trying to, figure out how we're going to, move forward and build a better 2013. We haven't even started, 2012. I mean, we're really trying to look that much ahead of things.
That's great. Now, tell me a little bit about what you're doing this year, because what you're doing this year is different than what you did last year. Is that right? Yeah,
it is. It's I've enjoyed the success in the ARCA series, and won a race last year and won for Petty Enterprises back in 2007, and had success in the truck series. And but a different opportunity came up this year. C.J. Wilson Racing. C.J. is the pitcher for the Anaheim Angels this year. He just got traded from the Texas Rangers, and he's a race enthusiast, and he got involved with some guys this past year, and he actually started a race team. It's a road race team, and they compete in the Grand Am Continental Tire Series.
Okay.
So it's that's kind of a branch off from NASCAR, but it's all road racing. And the little bit I did last year of the road racing, I really enjoyed it. And the sponsor I had, ModSpace, they actually were involved with CJ's group in another series, which was the Playboy MX5 Cup. And I know I'm giving you a bunch of different information.
No, that's okay.
But
that's great.
But I was able to run one of those races. It's in a Mazda MX5 car, and last year I did that once with CJ's team, and it went really well, and I had no idea what I was doing. So when the opportunity came up this year, and there was just talk about it, they were like, yeah, well, let's try, So I've been in, the team's based out of Texas right now, in Austin there, and I was there for the last few days, kind of trying to understand these cars and absorb myself with it. And but I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a good breath of fresh air for me, and it's a 10-race schedule, so I'll be able to fit in a bunch of NASCAR stuff here and there along the way.
Okay. So do the cars, now I really don't know anything about racing. So do the cars for road racing look different than like the NASCAR kind of cars?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I mean, even to the people who have been involved with me over the years, they would, even my family, they've came to Daytona when we were testing these cars because we race next weekend, and it's, it's just a totally different world. And even the garage atmosphere when we're working on the cars, it's taken me some getting used to, because in the stock car world, in the NASCAR world, I've kind of got it figured out, like what's the routine and how the communication goes, and it's a little different. But like I said, I'm just looking forward to it because it will be a breath of fresh air for me, and I feel like if I can be successful in this by year's end, that's just going to help me build my skill set, and I'm going to be that much more valuable whatever I decide to do.
Right. So where do you kind of see yourself in 5 years with racing?
I don't know. I just I don't really care what I'm racing. I just want to race for a living, and I want to continue to live my dream. And been very blessed. Good Lord's been good to me that I've been able to do this and make a living doing it for all these years. It's I'm 27 now, and it's since I got out of high school, really. I mean, this has been the path I've been on. So I've been very, very blessed to do that. And I don't really care what I'm racing. I just want to be doing it and be doing it in a professional manner. And honestly, I mean, there's room to grow with this road race team. So I think that there's, you never know, that there's a lot of opportunities out there. That there's a lot of NASCAR opportunities out there too. So we'll see. We'll just take whatever path works out the best, and looks like it's going to be the longest road. That's
great. That's great. Well, we're excited to have you here today to talk to us a little about what you're doing, and really it is a blessing to be able to do what you love as a full-time job. That's just amazing.
It is.
But thanks for being here today and for putting Brunswick County on the map, and we're excited to see where you go, and we'll be looking for you in the Brunswick Beacon.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it again sometime.
Wonderful. Thanks for being here.
All right, thank you.